That looks good. Thanks, Jeremy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to
Hello!
another episode of 10 Forward Weekly. My name is Mike Fadum, also known as Ambassador Kel, and I am your host. And joining me this week are my good friends and yours, Jeremy Randall and Thomas Maroney.
Curland here.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you for doing that, Jeremy. I was hoping you would.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Jeremy is off camera tonight. Technical reasons. It's fine. We'll all look at the beautiful face of his character. Apparently, I'm too quiet. Let me try and fix that by putting this microphone inside my mouth. The weird thing with this streaming software is that it remembers your settings from place to place. So it's got all of my settings from when I was at Cryptic 2 weeks ago, or last week, whenever it was. For the
People still go to the office?
I went once, yeah. Because I was going because a wonderful person invited me to a Ghostbusters screening that afternoon, and I wanted to make sure I got there in time after the stream. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to a 10 Forward Weekly. I am going to start with fan art before we dive into talking about the ship. Ship. So let's start with Angaris sent us this really cool shot of his ship drifting over the moon from To Hell with Honor. Love it. Chris Oten sent us, I believe this is an original ship design. Thomas, if you're watching the stream, you'll have to confirm or deny for me later, but he sent us original ship designs before, so I'm pretty sure that's what this is.
Hold on.
And it's I kind of like it. It's pretty. It's different, but it's pretty.
I think that's the Gladius,
The Gladius?
actually.
Oh, okay.
It's a Cryptic original. Might be a little bit extra kit bash, but
maybe a kit bash of Gladius. Oh, okay, yeah, that is a patrol escort. Everyone in chat is telling me as well.
Yeah, it's
Never
a patrol-
mind then. He just sent me a cool picture of his patrol escort.
yeah.
I
One of our
wasn't
new,
sure because the
more
rest of the
unique
email
designs.
was a design document for ship stats that I couldn't actually read. So, it's or a maelstrom with some Tempest parts. People are saying, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Daniel Saylors sent us this. He made the cast of Prodigy in our game, and it looks pretty cool. I love that he used a green Horta for Murph. That's great.
Don't we have a purple Horta? Wouldn't that be a little more?
Yeah, there's the Daily Team Horta.
Yeah, well,
You work with what you got, I
work
guess.
with what you got. Yeah. All right, and Looney Welsh sent us. Oh, hi, Mark. This is Tommy Wiseau in Star Trek Online because you can make anything in our character creator. And Mar Hawkman sent us this cool shot of him facing off against a T-Rex. I believe he said Winter reminded him of this. I'm not sure why. It doesn't look like he's using a cold weapon, but he is using a cold weapon. You could barely see it. Okay, there we go. Sean Mooter sent us this awesome shot of, I think that's one of the Voth ships, descending into a nebula somewhere. And also sent us this really cool shot of the Da Vinci class, which is one of my favorite designs that we've done recently. And finally, maybe my favorite piece of fan art I will ever get. Pundus made this for me. It is my ship with my vanity shield fighting an absolute horde of Oberths. I'm gonna get this printed and put it on my wall, I think.
Oh my god.
It's beautiful.
That's hilarious. That's a
True to
good.
form.
It's a really good render, like.
Yeah,
The Oberth is exploding, so it's actually canon.
Yeah.
Legit. This is legit. I'm really impressed with this.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I kind of want to get Pundus. I don't know. We need more ship artists, right?
I was just saying the other day that I could use some new wall art.
Yeah, well, there you go. There it is. All right. So we're revealing 2 new ships tonight, as was mentioned in the social post. The first one we're going to talk about is going to be coming to the Infinity Lockbox. But what's interesting about this ship is this is coming to the Infinity Lockbox on all platforms at the same time, next Tuesday, I believe, the 7th. And at the same exact time, console will also get the United Earth Defense Force ship that PC previously got. So next week, console captains, you're getting 2 new ships in the Infinity Lockbox.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let chat guess for a minute, because it amuses
Which ship
me.
it will be?
Yeah, what ship it's gonna be. So because it was happening before we signed on the stream and I enjoyed it. So everybody throw me your best guess for what ship I'm about to show you, and then once you've done that, I will click the button.
While they're guessing, can you answer that question that Trexpert just asked when the Agile Classics comes to console?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I mean, I can look. Let me see if I can look. No, I'd have to boot up my work computer. All right, I am seeing a lot of guesses.
Whale Probe.
Whale Probe, Cerritos, a Guardian of the Galaxy. Honestly, I would... of the ships that we could get from other franchises in this game, the Milano is one that I would absolutely love to have. All right, frickin' sharks with frickin' laser beams. I am either pleasantly surprised or absolutely horrified, I can't decide which, that no one's guessed it. Ladies and gentlemen, from Discovery Season 3, it's the Saturn class. Yes.
Stargate Wars snuck in there towards the end there. With
Oh,
an
yeah,
accurate guess.
got one. Stargate Wars got it right before the end.
Yeah.
Good job, Stargate Wars. Which, it makes sense that he would get it because this ship is a Stargate.
That probably has participated in wars.
Yeah. We had a hilarious discussion where Jeremy reached out to a bunch of us to be like, "Hey, folks, I'm trying to write the fiction for this. What do you think the ring is for?" And there was a lot of really good ideas.
Yeah. There's some inventive sci-fi writers on our team.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the Saturn, also occasionally known as the Halo ship or the bottle opener. It is a ship that appeared in the Federation headquarters in Discovery Season 3. Thomas, can you tell us a little bit about the design of this guy and bringing it to the game?
So Donny Versace modeled this for us. He did a great job. It's a cool. I think it's one of the more. How do I put this? It's like if you showed me no other ships from Discovery Season 3 and were like, this is a 32nd Century Starfleet ship, I'd be like, okay, I buy it. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's one of the more
has a clear lineage, like evolution.
Yeah, it feels like it fits in, but also feels super advanced in a cool way. So I actually like it's one of the 32nd Century ships I enjoy. Yeah, so
it's one of the few that has no floaty parts.
That's true.
Right. It doesn't have any floating things. And I'm actually not like a lot of people get really upset by the floating geometry. It doesn't bother me that much. I don't really care.
I've found the people who get really upset, not everyone, but as a sort of a general rule of things that I've found, the people who get really upset about the floaty geometry are the same sort of people who got upset about everything else that they've ever changed on that show. Just anything that's slightly different from TNG is wrong and bad.
Yeah.
But it comes with the 30. It comes with all the materials that the Janeway and the Mars class came with. So it's got the 32nd Century Fed materials, and then the Janeway material, and then the regular Fed material should be on there too. It does.
It's deceptively large.
It's
like
huge.
Right.
I really thought this was going to be a medium-sized ship. Maybe I can spawn something to show size.
But Thomas, do you know a good comparison, like off the top of your head, and like what sort of ship might fit inside of it?
I think the Discovery can fit inside that ring.
So that's a normal freighter next to it.
Well, so that's roughly Galaxy class sized, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's like 600 something meters long. So the ship is like 900-ish meters long. It looks like, just by comparison. If you there's a command you can do to like change the costume of that test dummy if you wanted to see it.
That's right. It's
select the set critter costume. Yeah, set critter costume.
and then you're gonna have to tell me the costume.
So let's do ship underscore fed underscore FC8 underscore type 4.
There's the discovery. Good
Yep.
guess.
So definitely the bulk of it, and the nacelles wouldn't, but
Yeah.
that's because they're 8 miles long.
Right.
Detachable nacelles. I mean, you could just take them off and shove them in the sides anyway.
hmm
All right, there was. Hold on. Somebody said something, and I wanted to call it out, and it might be gone now. And of course, my brain yeeted it. No, it's gone. All right, never mind. Someone on Facebook said something very funny, and I wanted to call it out, but
Oh, if you flip this ship vertically, can other players fly through the hoop?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's too bad.
Because the way I mean, if you do draw caps 1, you could see what the collision capsules are, but that might be too technical for the stream. I don't know.
No, I think that's fine. Draw capsule on.
Draw caps
Space.
space 1.
Yep, there's definitely collision in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, but we actually do have to do that for effect scaling purposes. If we have too many, what's the word, concave holes or inward-facing surfaces, it can cause our effects engine and our distance measurement math to get really, really crazy.
Yeah. Somebody added. I remember now what the Facebook comment was. They said this is the USS Zenith Chakram, and look at the name of the of this console. We'll come back to that, but you were not alone in that thought. What? No, you didn't. You've engaged no enemies. You will engage when I tell you.
That the dummy that you destroyed,
I know,
its warp core
counts.
breach went off.
For people in the chat who are asking, this is the Infinity Lockbox ship, not the Winter Event ship. We will be doing the Winter Event ship next.
The full name is the Saturn Science Spearhead. Intel Spearhead, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Intel Science Spearhead. There we go. I got it out.
I really like the nacelles. This ribbed design, I think, is really cool. I've been looking at it all day while I've been making the video for this ship.
Yeah, that was on the Kirk too, right?
Yeah, Kirk had a similar setup on its nacelles. I mean, it's interesting about this ship and about discovering how, and I think it's kind of interesting how the modern shows, the VFX are done, because you'll have ships will look pretty different between shots sometimes, and the Saturn, in some shots, the way the ship is lit will be significantly different than the way it's lit in other shots, and like the glowing, does it have impulse engines, and where are they, all that stuff is not super consistent. So in the end, we just kind of picked the version that we liked best. And so if you look around the back, Donnie added some impulse engines those impulse engines are visible sometimes, and sometimes they are not.
But they look really cool when they change color with the. I put on the Delta Alliance set on this, and so the ship was black and the engines were green, and it looked really awesome.
Yeah.
I missed who it was. This chat is moving by really fast, but there was someone on Facebook who just typed, oh, there it is. Scott Grass just typed, fix the Zen shop in all caps. So once again, it's time to do a little tutorial about reporting bugs. If there's an issue with a game, we would love to hear about it. Please let us know, but please let us know by providing as many details as you can. Scott's report does not tell me what's wrong with the Zen shop, so I can't report it to anybody to get it fixed. So
it technically doesn't tell us that there is anything wrong with it. He just might feel like there's something wrong with it. Like that's how far that goes.
Yeah.
Help us help you.
Someone was saying, just to make this still a Federation ship, that the bridge is actually right here, just cloaked.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny earlier, because when I was doing the cutscene for this ship, the thing that we put out with ships now, when normally if I pick a cutscene that's designed for a smaller ship, like if I did it for, the Kirk, if I had picked a small size cutscene, the camera will be clipping through the middle of the ship. It'll be really obvious. When I did this one on a scene that was too small, this is just what I saw at first.
But that's kind of what I meant about it being deceptively small. Like it's easy to imagine this being a smaller ship, but it's actually enormous. And I think it's because of the 32nd century windows. They're a little bit non-standard. It's harder to gauge the scale of some of these ships at a glance.
Yeah.
But it is a rather large ship.
Yeah. Blake Casad, if there is a gaping hole in the shuttle bay of the TOS Constitution Bridge, I'm guessing that's due to the issue we've been having with object IDs not being as unique as they should be. People are looking into it.
Like coffee tables turning into
shuttles.
Yeah.
All right.
Thomas, somebody in chat asked, I think it was AT&T, is this printable?
No. I mean, I don't think we have permission yet to allow people to print. I mean,
okay.
Discovery Season 3 ships, and some of them we'll never be able to print them because there's floating geometry, right? This one doesn't have floating geometry, but it's in general we had to wait for permission from CBS to let people print this stuff. And if it's gone live printable, that was an error, not something that we intended.
Christopher Triana has a very good point, which is that the command physical exam, as shown on Discovery, would take forever on this ship because you would have to run around the entire saucer.
Yeah.
But
you got to kind of imagine that ships that are kind of shaped like this are really only something you can get away with in the 32nd century because of the personal transporters that everybody has in their comm badge. Right.
That's a really good point. That actually is a really good... I hadn't thought about that when I was thinking about the gaping holes in a lot of the 32nd century ships. That actually is a really good weight saver then, because if you don't need the space and you don't need the hallways, don't build it.
The same about like the Janeway's got no connection between the primary and secondary hull, but really doesn't matter if you work on the ship because you can just transport.
Yeah. And if there's a transporter accident, it'll just lead to a cooler version of you anyway.
Exactly. Always.
Always.
It never goes wrong.
Never, ever. Let's see. Mike Simpkins wants to know what we think of Discovery Season 4 so far. I've only seen the pilot, so I really enjoyed the pilot.
Same.
I'm curious to see where they go from there. Somebody saying, I'm too quiet and Jesse is too loud, and yet Jesse is not on the stream, so I'm
He's so loud,
They might mean Jeremy. I'm going to turn you guys down a little bit.
Just keep it down, Jesse. Jeez.
But my volume is as much as I can get it up to. Sorry, guys. All right. Well, so I think people will probably want to dive into stats on this bad boy.
Yeah.
So let's take her over to her gala. I left the weapons on for you this time.
Thank you,
Jeremy. I almost called you Jesse.
I would be much louder if I was. No, that's. Oh. I don't want to start perpetrating a rumor that Jesse's loud. Let's
no,
stop
Jesse
that
is
now.
the opposite. Oh, okay, good. It is still Battle for Kronos on here. Great, awesome, wonderful. I was like, no, switch it before it gives away the winter ship.
But we'll be giving that away in like an hour.
Yeah.
Not giving it away. Telling you what it is.
Yeah, we'll be giving it away in December when you can go earn it for free.
So to give a little bit of an overview of the ship, like I said, it's an Intel Science Spearhead. Spearhead is a subclass of science vessels, which is a little more tactical leaning, kind of a science ship destroyer hybrid, but not a science destroyer that transforms. This is just kind of more of a hybrid ship. Previously in the Spearhead class, the only ones that... Oh, there you go.
Every time, and only when I'm on stream.
This gives me time to keep filibustering here.
I would like to point out, by the way, that when I said we were doing that in December, both Penthilius in Twitch chat, Creep Your Socks Up in Twitch chat, and I think Katrina LaFay on Facebook all said it is December at the same time.
The shard is locked.
Lovely. The shard is locked. Panic!
Okay, so anyway, I was saying Spearheads previously up to this point were strictly the Discovery and some of its counterparts, and the Baul Sentry ship is technically a Spearhead as well. although we just call it the Sentry vessel. So here we have
Actually, before I get
the
into
first
combat
actual
here,
like real official expansion of the Spearhead as a class,
Nope.
subclass.
All right, let me just blow these guys up, and then we'll. Oh, I have a cannon rapid fire on this
So
thing. This is what happens
it
when
is
I put ships
a-
together quickly.
It is a science primary vessel, and it's an intel vessel. So that means it's, as you can see, it's got a commander rank science intel seat, and it does have a secondary deflector, sensor analysis, subsystem targeting. The whole science suite is present on this ship. It also has an ensign rank pilot
It
seat, I
does.
believe.
Yeah, I should have. I do. I have lock trajectory in there, so.
Yeah. Lock trajectory in particular is kind of fun on this ship because of its round-looking nature, and honestly, that's almost the only reason I put that seat on the ship. Like, sometimes design doesn't need a lot to get pushed over into the let's do it category.
I would like to show off the console because I think it looks really cool. So this is the Chakram. It launches this turret that follows you around and gives basically the rings of Saturn around your ship.
The console is rad.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks really cool.
Ian Richards did the effects for this console, and I thought he did a really cool
Yeah.
work on it.
The rings themselves are kind of, they pick up the lighting in different maps too. So like here they look very red, but in other maps they'll look a little orangish, a little greenish.
Yeah.
Because they pick up lights, they pick up shadows, which is an awesome visual thing to see your own ship shadowed over these false rings of Saturn.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's called the Chakram projector. Basically, anything within that giant ring, which is flat. It's not a sphere. It is actually like a pancake-sized
Yeah.
AOE. Everything there takes kinetic damage and has its kinetic resistance reduced. So it's
Yeah.
also got a little bit of synergy there. You can use it with other kinetic powers to give them a little bit of a oomph.
Yep.
It is a pet over which you don't have any control. It will just fly toward the nearest target. And if that target either dies or flies too far from them, because the chakram itself is not very fast, it'll just pick a new target at random. So you don't get to control it, but it will make sure that it's screwing somebody's day up. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So here you can see the ship. I'm going to go through the stats before we go back to fighting again. This is the trait is called automated triage. Jeremy, why don't you tell us about it?
So this is a trait. Typically, when we design starship traits, we tend to design them around when you do this thing, you get this extra thing. But this time around, we've decided to do it a little bit different. This one automatically will trigger. As soon as you yourself or an ally player are below 50% hull, you'll automatically heal them immediately. You'll restore 10% of their hull, and then you'll also give them a short duration heal over time for an additional 25%. This innately, as soon as it triggers, puts itself on a 60-second lockout. But you can reduce that lockout yourself by activating Science Team or any Intel powers. And each time you activate one of those, you can reduce that cooldown. So instead of the click a thing and get a thing right away, it's more click a thing so that you can get your automatic thing back even quicker.
Necroglobule has the most original take on this ship's shape so far, which is that it looks like an Among Us character, and I see it.
Yeah,
A little bit. I can see
especially
it
the
too.
pog.
Yeah.
The top-down ship pog on there too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
There was something else. There was a question that I wanted to ask your way. Does the Chakram pet have health, and can it be destroyed, or is it invulnerable till time is up?
It's
What are the stats on
invulnerable,
that?
and it lasts a good time.
Well, that's a
It
while,
can't.
yeah.
Yeah, it can't be destroyed. It can be ran away from. That's basically the only way that enemies have to counteract it, which is not really something that NPCs will do. But if you use this in PvP, you'll find it's of limited use because it's pretty easy for players to run away from it.
Yeah. There's an interesting discussion going on in chat that I just want to respond to really quick. Trey Kev and Duncan Idaho are going back and forth, respectfully, thank you, on the whether 32nd century ships are selling or whether we should be making more of those or more classic ships, etc., etc. But the point I wanted to respond to was the question of whether quote unquote marketing or CBS decides what ships we make. They don't. We decide what ships we make. The marketing team is in PWE, and they're lovely people, but their job is 100% to support the things we've decided we're doing. And the ships we make are decided by the ship team, the systems team, and our design lead.
Mm-hmm.
So just wanted to make sure that was totally clear. Someone said it's grudge about my short hair, white and black cat.
Yeah,
sir,
all cats are grudge.
Okay, all right. Well, he is a queen. I did really like she's a queen. You have royalty trapped on your ship.
Yeah.
That was good.
Can you hover over the console
again?
item?
Yeah, I can do that again.
I can't remember what its passives are. Oh yeah, penetration.
Yeah,
Perfect.
horror penetration and shield penetration. But so since that works for starship weapons, I assume those don't then buff the chakram's damage.
Right, those are for weapons.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, sweet. So that is our girl. Oh, and let me show you the stations. Sorry. So we've got Lieutenant Commander Universal, Ensign Universal Pilot, Lieutenant Commander Tactical, Lieutenant Engineering, and Commander Science Intelligence. So there you go, folks. All right, so we'll take her through one more fight, and then we'll go check out the other ship.
I'm not sure that I saw anybody ask the question, but I can already hear so many people asking the question of whether or not Gather Intel is going to get buffed. Yes, probably.
Nice.
I started looking at it before Thanksgiving, but honestly, time's kind of tight right now. I got a lot of other things I need to focus on, but I do want to get back to it. And I think that the statement that things die before you get good benefit from it is pretty accurate, seems to be anyway. So that's probably the angle that I'm going to be reviewing. See if we can boost that up a little bit.
So I left the original phasers on this ship, Jeremy, but I assume these are the 32nd Century Federation phasers we've seen before.
They are. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Nothing new there.
Cool.
But they are really cool.
Yeah.
I like that color too.
Yeah, it's I like green. It's funny how many different colors of phaser there have been over the years for Starfleet.
Did you want to show off some vanity shields before we...
Yeah, why don't I do that, in fact? Because people have seen all of this. Let me unleash the chakram one more time so y'all can see that in action again. It went straight for that Kazon courier, so it chases the closest enemy.
Yes. And then if that enemy either is too fast for it or dies, it'll pick a new one and go after them. And I think its chase range is 30K.
Nice.
So
I really like that image of just the wall of whatever this is, energy, rocks, everything at once, just slowly moving towards the cruiser.
Yeah, I don't know if it's coming across on the stream very well, but there's a lot of really cool debris in the rings as well.
Yeah, it looks really... This effect looks really awesome up close.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. Let me head back to the ships are pretty map so we can look at. Duncan Idaho wants to know, Jeremy, if there's any chance of new items coming to the Phoenix prize packs anytime soon.
Yeah, pretty high chance. I don't know what exactly qualifies as soon, but yeah. I was just talking with Jared about that, I think back in October. And again, it's just towards the end of the year, because of the holiday breaks and everything, things can get really hectic at Cryptic, and we don't have a lot of time to pursue side projects. But that should slow down again when we get into the new year at some point, and then we can start looking at stuff like that. So cool. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to put in some sort of Phoenix update
hey,
next
Mike,
year.
Yeah.
What chart is this on?
This is on Redshirt.
Okay. How weird.
That the thing isn't updated?
No, the camera shakiness was weird, but I have Twitch up and it didn't show that on Twitch. So
that might just be because you're watching it shared through Discord. I don't know.
Okay.
It could be.
Did you notice camera shakiness during the warp in, Jeremy?
I saw it on Discord and not on Twitch, just
Okay.
like you.
All right.
I didn't see it on the game, but I also may not.
No,
have
we
noticed
just
it.
there's a camera thing issue going on in other places. So
Okay, so the Alliance shield turns all turns all of these things a nice matte black. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like it's got even more holes in it.
Yeah. Slime Devil, as always, is a sight to see. Let's see. Let's see. Iteru, we can't really hint on when specific ships are coming to the Muds or the Phoenix store. But we're trying to get all of that, all the stuff that you guys don't have access to. We're trying to make sure you do end up having access. Let's see. Some people keep saying, let's see, Fakiri. I don't know if we have Fakiri on this one. I do. Very nice. Very
Make
nice.
another note to update this reward pack for you again.
Thank you. I'm going to throw the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield on it because that's one of my favorites.
I really do like the way the curves on the ship interact with each other, and like the inner curve and the outer curve, and I think it's an interesting. It's like it's a sculpture, in a cool way. Like you could put this in the lobby of some Doctor No type character, and like you wouldn't think twice about it.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah. I think based on the little flaps here at the back, I honestly do think this is a starship that was inspired by a device in somebody's home because it looks so familiar to me. Like, I see those flaps and I feel like I can touch them. Like, I feel like I know what they are, but I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, it's like almost like one of those cosmetic mirrors that have the ring light or something.
Maybe.
Like, or a model, or a lamp. You know those model maker lamps that have the giant magnifying glass in the middle
That could be
with
it.
the light and.
I don't know. I remember these being thin rubber flaps, but I don't know what I'm talking about. No, not a bottle opener, Scott. Although I have heard that one before. So many people are saying bottle opener.
The folks saying Dyson fans, that's actually what it reminds me of. I'm not sure exactly why.
Yeah, I can see that.
There are Dyson fans that are big empty rings
Circles
now.
like this,
with
yeah.
their ionic whatever bull honky.
People are asking for us to do a Star Wars crossover and get them Star Destroyer. I don't know that you know how this works, so I don't want to crush your dreams right away. Do I not have the Lucari shield on here? It should be under.
Is it named Lucari? Some of them are weird names.
I thought it was, but it's not alphabetically there. It's weird because I have stuff that came out way later. All right, I'm gonna throw the Zenkethi Vanity Shield on this, and then we're gonna
Earning a pillow.
Maybe. No, it's not a toilet seat cover. I don't know. Oh no, it is. Is it?
I mean, maybe. Yeah,
It might be. No, it might be my daughter's potty booster seat that I'm thinking of.
Well, go get it.
I'll be right back.
Yes, he's doing it. Now everybody in the chat who's been calling it a Q's toilet seat or whatever is going to be totally justified.
Oh man. I think it's cool though. Either way, I mean, the saucer shape is a classic Star Trek shape, and I think this was a cool way of updating it. Oh my goodness.
This does have the flap I was thinking of, but it's not quite what I was thinking of. Maybe
Thomas,
I don't know.
could we get that material as a vanity shield?
The Elmo?
Yeah, Mike,
let's
send
do
me
it.
some high res scans.
Oh, don't you worry. I will. All right. Well, let's. I see a lot of people, or at least some people in chat, going, "What the heck? Show us the winter ship." So I am going to warp over to Earth Space Dock, and wait, KFR Soul. There we go. Looney Welsh is very excited about an Elmo Vanity Shield. Listen, everyone who's saying USS Bidet, we can only do Bidet if we can do a crossover with Critical Role.
Bidet.
But there.
So, yeah, in case you missed it, weren't here for the beginning, that Saturn will be coming as an update to the Infinity Lockbox on next week on both PC and console. And console is also getting what was the other ship at the same time?
The United Earth Defense Force ship.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Mr. Elephant.
Katrina LaFay, that's a super rude question. Thanks. Asking if I've gained weight.
The fuck, fudge. Yeah. Don't ask crap like that.
I mean, I think I have, but that's beside the point.
Even if the answer is no,
Yeah.
that's not a great question. Okay, well, there it is.
What? I switched over to... No, yeah, they can't see that. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. I can see
Yeah,
it.
no, I switched. I'm going to set the
Okay.
ship up really quick so that it has, some stuff on it.
Stuff.
You scared me.
Oh, I see. Okay, it's just our faces.
Yeah.
Well, your faces and my wonderful guest star cameo character.
I can't remember who made that image, but I think it might be Rami. I'm just going to pick random engineering consoles. I have no idea.
I think that's right because I pulled it off Twitter at some point.
Yeah.
And that's
So good
usually
work,
where
Rami.
I see her stuff.
Someone tell her I said that.
Let's see, Cthulhu, before you do the new ship, looking into gather intel. Yes. Possibly not until next year. But yeah, I do want to give it a review.
Hey, Mike, can you
Yeah?
turn off the vanity shield
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As soon as we load it into the new thing.
before you
Yep.
flip over? I don't want that to be the first.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you for reminding me.
Mhm.
Turn off the vanity impulse, too. And the deflector, probably. Yep. All right, cool. Let me
Sweet.
get this set up. And while I'm getting this set up, chat, it is time once again. Guess for me.
This will be
Yes,
the Winter Wonderland. The Winter Wonderland Grand Prize.
We've already told you that it's different from what we normally do for Winter Wonderland ships. So give us the guesses. Seeing a lot of guesses for Eisenberg and a lot of guesses for Clump ship. Do they mean the Viridian when they're saying Clump ship? Or do they mean the
Packlet, I
Packlet
think.
ship?
Packlet.
Okay. All right.
Is that the canon name? I haven't heard that name before. I kind
I
of
don't
like
think
it.
it's canon, but
if it isn't, we should make it canon.
yeah.
We are the clump ship. We have power.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on. It changed the name of my ship on me. No, it didn't. Thomas, I think I found a bug. Can you see how
You can't.
the name of the ship on the side?
Oh yeah. Go. Leave the map and come back. It should update.
Actually, let me just go.
There's some really interesting guesses in here that I'm mentally jotting down.
Yeah, right. Jake Luna, I don't know if this is a guess or why you brought it up, but I do want to say that Lower Decks episode with the Klingons and the Vulcans and the Lower Decks officers and other ships, not just my favorite episode of Lower Decks this year, maybe one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek. Just really good Trek, that episode.
Yeah,
Even with all the jokes.
I was having lunch with a friend who hadn't watched season 2 yet, and I said that to him, and he's like, "Bold! It's a bold statement." And I'm like, "I know, but it's true."
I think my favorite guess that's come up is it's just Q with a gun.
I lied. Go do contact dialogue, Alex.
Okay. We're trying to fix something, folks. Sorry, so keep your guesses coming.
And then go to the customized starship. And then just hit the Eisenberg template. Shit. And then click on apply. And then.
There we go.
I have a template with that name.
Many ships could have it. There we go. That seems to be fixed. Let's move.
Yeah.
It's okay. We were going to reveal it in like 10 seconds anyway.
This is free entertainment, guys. You don't have to pay for this. Twitch.com is free.
So yes, I'll flip over so y'all can see it. But yes, it is the Eisenberg class ship, the USS Nog from Discovery, which was named after our good friend Aaron Eisenberg. And obviously, this is the ship named after a friend of ours who we lost. We couldn't put this anywhere that people might spend money for it. We wanted to make sure everybody had a chance to get it. So it is our winter ship this year. Jeremy, this is a Federation ship. How is that going to work?
It just works, Mike. Yeah, no, seriously, it really does. We have a long track record of knowing how to make cross-faction ships, so we just basically turned this Federation ship into a cross-faction ship. But this is not something that we want to make expected to be it's not a precedent that we're trying to set here. Federation ships should be Federation ships. This is an exception to that statement, and it's because it's an event ship. And using a Federation ship as an event ship is also an exception. That's not something that we want to set up as a precedent for going forward. Just want to get that out of the way.
Got it. I actually had the wrong info there. I thought it was you can unlock it, but if you're not a Fed, you can only fly it if you've got cross faction unlocked. So
no, it's fully flyable for Klingons even without that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
So yeah. Thomas, can you talk to us a little bit about this starship and the design process? And
Yeah, so this is Tobias Richter did this ship for us, and as I said before, just like with the Saturn, in different shots, this ship actually looks different.
Doesn't it have completely different nacelles in one appearance?
I don't know. I don't know if I ever noticed that, but I will say that the giant name and registry on the side, that is not in any of the concept art or the art department stuff, and it was sort of clearly added because they wanted that moment for people to see, the USS Nog name in that big fleet shot. Like clearly that was added for that shot.
Yeah.
And so Tobias was working from reference, and he didn't have that in there, so he had to kind of add it after the fact to make sure it matched, that one big thing. And it's also funny because I wanted to take screenshots of the USS Nog, and so I tried to change my name of the ship, but Nog is actually a restricted word.
Oh no!
So unfortunately,
somebody noticed that the other day because they were trying to name their ship after Nog or Odo, and they couldn't.
Yeah. And I don't think we're gonna change that. Like, that's one of those, because it's a canon character, and because we don't want. So I think the ship name and the people name filters are in the same file. So we don't want you to make a Nog, and we don't want you to make an Odo for your tune. But that also means that you can't make a USS Nog or a USS Odo or a USS Kirk or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So you can make a USS N0G. If you really want to, I think.
Yeah. We are talking about some of that behind the scenes too. There's as we mentioned on the stream a lot, there's two camps among the cryptic developer teams on STO. There's the very, 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 very protective of Star Trek canon group and the only kind of protective group. So there's a debate going on over whether you should be allowed to name ships like the Enterprise.
And no one is in on any given day. The same person might be in a different camp. Because I am definitely, there are things I'm just like, yeah, whatever, and then there are things like, no, it can't be blue. It was red. Like,
Alexa,
and there is zero logic to it. I will be the first to admit it is purely subjective. What people are super fixated on maintaining or being right, and then other things that people get really flexible. And I am 1,000% sure that anybody who plays the game would, if you worked on the game, you would feel the same way, where there's certain things you're like, oh, I want to tweak this to make it a little better or different.
Everybody has their version of what Trek is.
Or what it can be.
Yeah.
What it can entail.
Yeah. I did want to respond to something. Trekev 1701 said, "Thank you for listening to the fans in terms of how this ship is available. I really appreciate that. But also, there's this ship being available any other way than a way that players could earn was never on the table. From the moment that the ship appeared, we were trying to figure out a good way. And the winter event was one of the first things that came up when we were talking about it.
I will say the only other thing that we gave any serious consideration to was like a charity thing.
Yeah.
But even that really boils down to people spending money to obtain the ship, and it just rubbed us wrong.
Yeah.
So this is where we ended up, and I'm glad to hear that players are on board with it because I think I think we're doing it right. I
I
think.
agree.
Yeah, and Tobias, he always does great work. He did great work on this ship. Like the Saturn, it has the same set of 32nd century materials, and normal fed materials that you can use. And I'm trying to. It's kind of hard to tell from the stream. Are the nacelles moving a little bit? I think Weston did his little floaty nacelle touch to it to get a
Yeah.
little bit of
I think
animation in
they
there.
are bouncing up and
It's
down.
subtle,
Yeah.
which is on purpose.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
But
this is another one of those ships that I think really like. It's definitely deviates a lot more from the traditional Starfleet look than the Saturn, but it's certainly sleek and cool, and it is a sculpture in its own right. And that's
Mhm.
one thing that I think most of the 32nd century ships, what I like about them is that they are very sculptural, which I think is really cool. They
yeah.
feel like carved and not built.
It definitely
Um,
feels like right before the burn, when these ships were all made, like Starfleet was in an age of kind of like 50s car design.
right.
Like everything just looks really cool and swept
Yeah.
edges and wings and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So a bunch of people were asking about some stats for the ship. Are there any other fun details you want to share before we move on, Thomas?
There's, it's got some like layers of glass and stuff that are kind of cool. If it hits if the light hits it a certain way, you get some really cool. You can kind of see on the top there, really cool reflections.
It's got those
And
cool kind of like angled windows from the Kirk as well. I
mhm,
didn't notice
Yeah.
that before, where they
yeah,
kind of jut in and out. It
Kind of.
uh,
It kind of makes me think people are on the ship like walking like this, which in artificial gravity you can be, and no one will never know.
yeah.
right.
Uh,
When the
um,
winter event is over and new players want this, will it be made will it be made available elsewhere? Let's summarize that. We're still in talks about that. Typically, what happens with an event ship is that it will eventually end up on MUDs. But again, with the Eisenberg, that
don't think we
might
want
not
to do
be
that.
something that we want to do. So I'd say just stay tuned.
Yeah.
And if you know anybody that might want this ship, encourage them to come and play for the winter event. Don't not miss out.
Yeah.
Right.
Folks were asking about the size of this. This is a pretty snorking big ship, if I remember correctly. Let me spawn
It's
something.
smaller than the Saturn.
That's okay. Sure. Let's see.
It's very long, as you can tell by the shot that you just set up.
Yeah. What is just? I'm just making one of those. We're all sci-fi writers things. What's the back area for this long
It's a
spike in the back?
parabolic deflector. It allows for a higher surface area for picking up signals
Oh,
without really, without needing to be centralized as much.
that's pretty good.
Also, sometimes called the selfie stick. Yeah, I like that.
Well, I mean, like, if those are windows there, I mean, you could also say that it's like that
I made
it's a
this for.
mod.
I'm sorry. I spawned an Oberth for size comparison because somebody asked me to. But now I'm looking at this and going, "Don't ever talk to me or my son ever again."
Yep,
Uh,
that's hilarious. Um, uh,
It has a little bit of visual language from the Normandy, doesn't it? I don't know where I'm getting that exactly, but
yeah, a
I
little
like the
bit.
big,
The curvy front at the top.
yeah,
This is very the sweeping top bit is very Normandy.
yeah.
I like the big keel on it too,
Yeah,
hmm
yeah,
but I just like space boats, so.
yeah. Well,
Even
that's because that's
canoes.
what Star Trek is: space submarines
Mm,
and space boats.
mm,
All
yes,
right. Well,
indeed.
let's fly over to Argala. By the way, the blog for the Saturn is coming out tomorrow, and the blog for this ship is coming out Friday. So when you don't see the blog for this tomorrow, don't go, "Oh
But a little bit of an overview since we're getting into the stats of
no!"
it.
Yeah,
The Eisenberg is a
I
star
think I'm about to
cruiser,
crash.
which is really just a soft sub classification of a standard cruiser. So it's got the 4 cruiser commands. It's got the 4 weapons arrays. and it's focused on engineering primary. Star cruisers are a classification we use for cruisers that have a science secondary leaning, kind of a soft focus. Oh, the whole stream crashed?
Not the whole stream, no, just the
Just the game.
just the game, and because I was sharing. Okay, hold on.
I see.
I thought
Okay.
I could casually close it just to. Of course not. Just a moment, everyone. We're professionals doing professional things.
Well, I can fill some space.
Yeah.
There's a few other things I can say about the Eisenberg. Yes, it is a pretty standard cruiser. Because we don't do primary specialization ships for event ships. That's holding true here. It does have a, let's see, Lieutenant Commander Universal Miracle Worker seat, but not a Commander Miracle Worker. So it's not a Miracle Worker ship. But it does have some Miracle Worker seats, and it has some command seats, an ensign command seat in addition to that.
Very nice.
Someone's asking if it has the 32nd century cloak.
Oh, good question. I think yes, but let me double check that. Yes, it does.
Nice.
It is a 32nd century ship, so that does mean that, like we've kind of established for those ships, it has a heavier focus on hull rather than shields. It can go pretty fast, but in a straight line. and yeah, it has a cloaking device.
Nice. Admiral Six Killer is saying, "We want specs in all caps, as if that's not what I'm trying to give you right now."
Yeah.
Just a moment, my friends.
Sorry, the client crashed.
Yeah.
It
And
happens to us
then when I
too.
tried to log back in, Steam was like, "Do you want to log into your personal account? That's what you're linked to, so you have no choice." So now I have to open the game and log out and go back in.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for people who multi-box. Not that bad, but a little bad.
Does it have a specialized bridge layout? Oh, an interior. No, it does not have a new interior. It has access to, I think, at least one of the Federation interiors, despite being a cross-faction ship. Oh, I set all this up before the Thanksgiving break, so I don't remember the details off the top of my head. I'll have to look
Back.
into that.
Wait. Oh, I'm on holodeck.
That's not the right server.
It's not the right server. Let's have more problems.
Any chance you can change a seat? No, at this point, everything's set. It's going live as it is.
All right, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. Okay, here we go. I was like, I'm looking at my character. Why does that feel wrong? Oh, because it is. Back to
C.
Red
Cardinelli
Shirt we go.
has asked, have you ever considered breaking the mold in starship design, like having, well, then they list a few weird things. Yeah, absolutely. We consider weird stuff on a pretty regular basis. But keep in mind that we have a very long track record of seeing what players like. And we also need to ensure that the ships that we create do make us enough money to keep the lights on. So there's a lot of risk associated with trying something new design-wise. We do try to entertain it on occasion, but we don't want to go too nuts, because if most players don't like it, we risk
Or worse, don't
not
even
having
give
jobs.
Or worse, don't give it a chance because it's different.
Mm-hmm.
All
So
right.
we do like kind of stretching the boundaries when we can and trying out new things.
I did not
But
put anybody. Sorry, keep going. I'm just realizing I didn't put. Anybody.
I was almost done. I was just going to say that I don't think that we're likely to do anything incredibly strange, because it is risky, and risk is not our business.
Oh Lord, I might explode while.
I
can't.
I will say though that I think that there are times when the show forces our hand a little bit, right?
Totally,
And we have to like what's the, I know there was a recent example from Discovery where it's just like, it does what? And then we have to Huh?
Bookship.
Yeah, exactly. And we're just like, all right, well, we'll have to figure that out,
Mhm.
and we do. Or the Section 31 drone ship, right? Like,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
crazy stuff that is risky. Um, and but we know that that's what the players want. It's risky from a technical perspective because if it doesn't work, then what are we going to do? But it's not necessarily risky from what the players want perspective because we
Mhm.
know that everybody wants what they're seeing on the show. But it still are are risks that we take, that we have to take because the show is getting crazier and crazier with what the ships can do.
Oh yeah, that was another example. The courage with flying in both directions.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it's absolutely fair to qualify what I said earlier with sometimes we also do bake time into our development schedules to R&D stuff, to try out weird stuff and see if it might be fun, to push those envelopes on purpose. But it takes additional time and effort, and sometimes across multiple disciplines. There's actually something we're investigating right now that's taking like core engine software techs to help us out with it. I'm hoping it comes together for a future ship. And so we do plan to push boundaries and try out new things on occasion, but I, we don't just throw darts at a board to
Right.
design
Yeah.
ships.
Right.
There's also a very large risk that doing something like that is, well, there's a few very large risks that we have to keep in mind whenever we're making a ship. Is it fun? Is something we always have to keep in mind. Like, it does it, and what I mean by is it fun is it usable in the atmosphere of STO as it currently stands?
Right.
And is it too overpowered or too underpowered is also part of that that whole conversation. Like, one of the examples that somebody said is like putting all the weapons in the forward, and just gives, so you just have like 8 forward weapon arrays and no rear.
It would be a different design, but yeah, that sounds like it would be pretty OP, especially if it was on a ship that had any maneuverability.
But maybe if we put it on a ship with a 3 turn rate, it wouldn't be. So maybe there's room.
You
to
are
explore some
a
weird stuff
death
like that.
cannon, but you turn so slowly.
Yeah.
That reminds me of I think I showed it to you, you guys, the perpetual concept art for the ship that had like a clamshell saucer that opened
Yeah.
up, and then
Yeah.
like a giant death ray came out.
Oh yeah,
So silly.
I love that ship to death. In a way of I would never want it in our game and I would never want it in Star Trek, but I love it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so ludicrous.
Like, oh man, somebody got paid to make that.
Living the dream, right?
Living the dream. All right. What's the console on this bad boy? There it is. Great
I
material
don't know.
continuum. Let
Oh,
me
okay.
fire that off. This console led to a hilarious conversation in a meeting of Jeremy and I not understanding each other for like 20 minutes, trying to explain the fluff for this console. Not the stats, just like,
Yeah.
well, but does that make sense in Star Trek? Yes, Mike, it makes sense. But does it? Yes, it makes sense.
Would you like me to get you the quote? I'll get you the quote.
Yeah, and you got me the quote, and then I got it.
So, if people watching don't recognize, Great Material Continuum is a reference to a Ferengi doctrine, which broadly says that people in need can get the things they need if they engage in open trade. And that by properly engaging in open trade, the Great Material Continuum will deliver, and will allow everyone to prosper. It's kind of like a rising tide floats all ships sort of general philosophy, but only if you're actively bartering, if you're actively engaging in trade in good faith with other people, hopefully that are also part of the system. So it's a very generic Ferengi doctrine, but it's also like flies right in the face of most of the rules of acquisition. Like, nobody's that fluffy in Ferengi. culture. Nobody thinks that it's all for the best, the betterment of everyone. It's all about yourself.
Yeah, which was the thing that I was trying to argue because I didn't remember the episode where this comes up in
Yeah.
DS9, and so I was like, I saw the due to the Ferengi doctrine of raising up everybody else, and I was like, what? The what?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So that's what it's named after, the Great Material Continuum. And what it does is essentially it reallocates resources from your foes by taking their hull to your friends by giving them hull.
just yanks it off them and slaps it on.
Yeah, in broad game terms, it essentially is a PBAOE damage aura that when you turn it on, it does damage to any foes nearby, and it tracks how much damage it is doing. And then at the end of that cycle, it tracks how much damage you have done and gives you and every player on your team an amount of temporary hit points equal to the amount of damage that you've done with that console. Not all damage, just the console's damage.
Super cool.
But can get pretty aggressive if you like skill into it, if you have the right synergies set up and everything. Yeah.
We'll fire it off.
Yeah, it's
again.
kind of like a structural integrity siphon, yes. But also
Can't
team-wide.
zoom out enough to show you, but it makes a very big sphere. Not quite as big as the D20 on the Courage, but
Or the Earth ship.
or the UDF. Oh, sorry, you're right. It's the
Yeah.
UDF, or the EDF, not the Courage.
I
I was wondering what that silence was. It was because I said something incorrect.
Can the console be set to auto-fire on console, on Xbox and PS4? I think it can. I'll want to double-check that, because I know that's come up recently, but I think it can. Yeah.
Nebshake90 says the Ferengi version of the free market acts as a vampire damaging field that sucks the life away from one and gives it to another. That's actually pretty meta on the social commentary.
I hear nothing wrong with that statement.
I was going to make a joke about trickle down economics earlier, and now it's even more relevant.
It's super late stage capitalism.
The latest of stages. When you've gone all the way past money making into women aren't allowed to wear clothes.
Let's see. What is the starship trait on this one? Ingenious tenacity. So this is actually, in a way, named after Nog's father. Why can't I think of his name? Rom. Who's said to be just as ingenious as he was tenacious, or something like that. It was a quote that I took for it. So what ingenious tenacity will do is that anytime you activate a specialist bridge officer ability, so that includes Intel, Command, Temp Op, Miracle Worker, you briefly basically give yourself a 0.5 version of reverse shield polarity for several seconds. So a little weaker than rank 1 of that ability, but this goes off every time you use any specialist bridge officer ability.
Nice.
Which will redirect an amount of incoming damage to restore your shields.
That's super cool.
Yeah, and it will refresh anytime you keep using it. There's no internal lockout, so use it.
All right.
Pretty good shield tank.
I'm going to cloak and
if
fly
you're
away
into
from
that.
combat so we can show off some tooltips.
Marked Chief, that actually sounds
Yeah.
similar.
My father's genius and my uncle's tenacity.
Yeah,
That sounds right.
that might be what it is. When he was describing himself. Yeah.
All right, so here's ingenious tenacity. Here's the stats for that. Ice Queen 142, we did cover this trait on the Saturn, but the blog will be out tomorrow morning, so you can just see it then.
Yeah, and Winter Solaris, or Warrior Solaris asks, will the winter event count towards the event campaign? No, actually, the event campaign, the current Kronos, Battle for Kronos event is the last chance
Last
you
one.
have to earn progress.
So don't sleep on that. Go do some Klingon
Right, and
TFOs.
That's going until December 7th, so you've got until December 7th to earn progress, and then you can buy out the rest of it if you haven't totally earned it. But no, the after this Battle for Kronos event, the event campaign is over.
I think there's going to be a period of time where you can still
Buy it
out.
And that
the
period of
past
time will
events.
probably be extended. I think last time it was still going like halfway through the next year. But yeah. But if you want to get it without spending money, now is the time.
Just
Will the
for
event
further
campaign be run again next year? Almost certainly, but we haven't decided on things like what the eventual reward will be.
Mhm.
Although obviously this year was super effective. So here is the console stats.
I guess somebody made a point that I think is true. I'm not quite as versed in the console calendar. I was speaking only about PC, so I guess there might be one more
Yes,
campaign event
Battle
on
for Kronos
console.
is still coming for console.
Right.
And after the winter event, so in January.
And that'll be the last one there, right?
Yeah, that'll be the
Yeah,
last one
okay.
there.
But so on console, it's also true that the winter event does not give you progress towards the meta campaign.
Seasonal events like the winter and summer event are never intended to be part of campaigns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We can't quite see the tip for the console, so I'll try that again. Hopefully that's better. Kaimo says maybe if it's run again, don't put a account-wide lock of a ship that a lot of people were buying in a Muds bundle right after they might have unblocked it with their event campaign. We are aware that we're doing a little bit more research and data driven on this one, so that hopefully something like that won't happen again. But no matter what you pick, there's always a likelihood that we'll put it in Muds or something else like that. So Master of Overskill wants to know what science consoles these are. These are literally just ones that were in my inventory that I put together because I thought stacking 4 would be good. I don't know if they're good for this ship, but they are restorative particle focusers.
I think those are from one of the fleet holdings. I'm unsure which one.
Yeah.
The ones with the procs usually are.
Yeah. All right, let me pop over to the pretty map again so we can take a look at some shield things.
It looks like they buffed exotic damage. Is the material continuum? Is that exotic damage?
It is.
Hey, so it was useful.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's how you, like I was saying, you can buff that value up. There's a soft cap underneath the hood. I think it's mentioned in the long description, but it's very high. It's like 500,000 or something. Like if you can deal 500,000 damage with this console, that's all the temp HP you get.
Yeah.
Right.
Cthulhu has a question that I don't know if we actually know the answer to, which was about the Picard lockbox, and I think also Angel's Wake, maybe not ending up in the Infinity lockbox yet. Do you know why that's not been updated, Jeremy?
Not offhand.
Okay.
No.
I didn't
There
think
is
so.
a schedule for doing that, but it's not something that I have been managing, so I'm afraid I don't know.
That's okay. So one thing that's interesting about this ship, and I think it's probably true of the EDF ship and a lot of other things, our game assumes, because most starships in Trek when this game was designed were flat, that ships will be flat, and so it tends to point the camera at this upper part when we get a very long ship, which makes a lot of things happen a little oddly if you get a vertical ship as opposed to a horizontal one. All right, someone wanted Ferengi Vanity. You got it.
That's suitable.
Oh, I gotta sort them again. Oh, that's kind of cool, actually.
Oh, yeah,
That's a nice look.
It kind of looks like a Ferengi ship to some extent.
Yeah.
Like it's got some of the round shapes and
Yeah.
such.
Zenkethy wanted to know if the preeminent set will ever become re-engineerable.
Well, I don't want to say that anything won't happen, but I also don't really know when we'll find time to fix that sort of stuff. So I don't have a good answer for that, I'm afraid. I would love to just say yes, it's re-engineerable. Let's just make that happen. But it's unfortunately anything that isn't already currently engineerable is stuck in that state because it's a bit of a bear to get it over to the next hurdle. And finding the time to do that is not free. Well, we'll see. Like I said, beginning of each year is usually there's a little bit more time for side projects that for systems at least. So maybe some of that stuff, but we have so many things on our whiteboards that we want to address who knows which ones we'll get to.
I think the same answer. That answer is the same for the question of will we ever get different personal endeavors. See everything Jeremy just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, Section 31 looks really neat. These permanent red lines that we've got on a lot of Federation ships make these, they really pop on some of the darker shields.
The decal pinstriping.
Yeah.
Dielectric oscillation, please.
Okay.
Because I hate us.
Why? Why you do this? Here it is.
Somebody in chat asked, and
Uh-huh.
I feel like they might have been. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Thomas,
It's gorgeous.
Thomas, I know that we don't replace things that players might like. But please put me out of my misery. Please, I'm begging you.
I mean, if we ever, if we ever redid the Breen ship material, we could replace the material that
We're
thing uses, but-
we're doing a Breen set for the winter event. So just do it now.
Yeah,
Right
okay.
now. Right now.
All right.
Thomas. Right
All
now.
right, I gotta leave the stream.
Okay, bye.
I gotta get to work.
Augie, we can't delete the Slime Devil's shield because it's green and purple, and those are my favorite colors. So
And it's one of the best shields in the game.
it's so
so-
nice.
Yeah. Suck
let's
it.
see. People want. We love you, Augie. Here's pink as requested. Ooh, pink looks nice on this. Yeah, it does.
That does.
Let's see. Marhawkben says no kill Breen shield. If you can
not-
write me a 1,500 word essay about what you like about that shield.
15,000.
Yeah, you're right.
50.
15,
Jeez, you just
15,000,
move that
you're right.
goalpost.
Can we get a ship named after Augmented Dictator Games? Jeremy, what's the worst starship design you can think of? No, I'm just kidding. Just because I would want to do that. I would want to name, if we were going to ever name a ship after somebody who's known for getting really good DPS builds, like Augie, I would want to make something that was designed, like maybe a ship that had like no weapons, just to see like what kind of deeps he could still get out of it.
Like the Tier 0 Miranda.
We'll just slap that rainforest ship together and have it big and no turn rate and no weapons.
Yeah,
and
there we go.
Call it the Augie.
Speaking of shields that we should probably replace. Look, it's the new Kara shield, unrelatedly.
I mean, that one's much better than Breen.
It's true.
So a few people have popped in. It looks like they were late. This is the Eisenberg, the Eisenberg Star Cruiser, and this is going to be the prize for the winter event.
Yep.
If you complete the winter event appointment mechanic, then you can get the ship for free.
Ooh, the Work Bees is a really nice kind of Ferengi-ish blend look on this.
Yeah, I like that.
This is, for those of you who came in late, a Federation ship. However, this ship will be cross-faction for the purposes of this particular winter event. It's not something we're doing a lot in the future with future Federation ships, but for this one, we are making an exception.
Yep.
KDF shield. Is there just a shield called the KDF shield, or am I supposed to be thinking of something there?
Klingon
Honor Guard, maybe?
Honor Guard?
That'll do it.
It's just a armored look.
Yep.
It's one of our older ones too.
Yeah. Let's throw the Kelvin Divergence KDF on there for a real Klingon look. Yeah.
That's cool.
Now
like
it's a
it.
Christmas ship.
Did you try the sarcophagus skin yet?
I didn't. Let's do it. Where is it?
Came in late, can it cloak? It can cloak.
Woohoo. Oh, that's nice too. That's one of my favorite sarcophagus looks that I've seen recently.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Adrian Carcagano, we can't really talk about why the Mirror Guardian didn't come out when we thought it was going to come out initially and when we initially announced it, but I can say, I think if you remember, I said it was delayed until December, and it is now December, so you don't have to wait much longer, and it will be hitting all platforms simultaneously when it does come out. Let's see, Medical Vanity Shield, I don't know if I have that one on this pack. I do. Excellent.
Yeah, I think you're only missing 3 or 4.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, that's nice.
Am I? Am I the only one getting like TOS vibes a little bit?
Yeah, a little
on
bit,
stuff now?
A little bit.
Or TMP maybe.
maybe. All right. Well, folks, I'm gonna take this stuff off so we get a good look at her in all of her normal glory. And since we've been going for a while and we've shown off both ships and answered a whole bunch of your lovely questions, I will say thank you all very much for joining me. Jeremy, Thomas, thank you. It's been a pleasure as always. Donnie was supposed to be here. I invited him, and I didn't realize I hadn't actually added him to the call until
Oops.
after he messaged me in the middle of the stream. So sorry, Donnie, I am a jerk. But thank you both for joining me. Thank you everybody for tuning in and checking out these ships. Millie Johnson King, I can't say when the Kirk class will come to console, partially because I don't know right now off the top of my head, and partially because we just can't talk about upcoming contents.
When are the blogs coming out for these? Just
Saturn is tomorrow, and Eisenberg is Friday. So keep an eye out for those there. And they will have the lovely videos we've been doing, so you'll get a bunch of looks at the ship in different ways.
Cool.
I am going to look for someone to raid. Thank you for reminding me, chat. There was a specific request that I raid Endeavor Game on, and it has been a while, so maybe. Let's see.
Or somebody named Grumpy is another option.
Grumpy
people are
Old
saying.
Nord I've raided a few times in the last couple of months. I love Nord, but
Oh, Nord.
yeah, seems probably not that one today. Let's see. Especially since he's listed higher than us on the chart of people playing Star Trek Online. All right. Game on Brad. I think we rated him last week. I feel like we rated him last week. Somebody tell me if that was who I rated last week.
Last week was
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. Did you do a stream?
Sorry, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago was before Thanksgiving, and therefore the brain has been dumped.
Yep.
I have no knowledge
The
of
mashed
that
potatoes replaced all brain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one's called Gagarin Collection Day. I want to see what that one's all about, and if the person is talking. It's a console streamer, but they're just sitting on a shot of the ship floating in space. So I think they
So
might
are
be in
we.
the bathroom.
I mean, you
We're
could
just sitting on a shot of the ship in space.
Yeah,
no, it's our
but
faces
we're
right
that's our job.
Wait, all right.
We're
What's happening?
talking.
There's movement.
What?
They just queued for something. I think
Oh,
they're
yeah?
waiting for a queue to pop. Yeah.
Oh.
They're
Okay.
not saying anything.
Okay, if they're not talking, I probably won't raid them. Just because,
We're rewinding 2 minutes to see if they talk.
good call.
Donnie, next time, if we do another ship that he made,
Yeah,
or you
absolutely.
can probably just have him on for fun.
I could, that too. KelMG96, if somebody who left Blizzard wants to come and work for us, that's awesome, but they should probably speak for themselves. I don't know if you've talked to them about trying to get us to hire them, so, you know. Let's see. Are we ever going to do a graphic overhaul? Yes, we have been for the last 11 years.
Slowly, piece by piece.
Slowly, piece by piece. Thomas,
But if you're
anything?
expecting us to like shut down the game and come back with all new shinies, that ain't happening.
No.
No, yeah. I mean, you'll be seeing at least one new ship remastered for the
Whoa,
for our
that's
next big update.
loud.
So
But we're constantly doing things like improving the number of polygons. That's the word that we can safely display on screen. You know, the amount of visual effects noise that everybody loves, and the impact that has on performance or doesn't have on performance is constantly being improved. And also, like the artists, like Thomas, are just getting better at their jobs, and
Yeah.
stuff is looking better and better the longer the game is around. So,
Yep.
in a way, visual fidelity just naturally rises as we keep working on the game.
What if I raid these Cryptic Studios guys? I don't know why I'm wiffle waffling on this so much. It's fine. Let's just raid Brad. He's got 5 viewers, but I can see his face. Well, no, I'm pretty sure that's the guy I raided last. Okay. I'm going full cheaty here, guys.
There's let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, the one person
Nope.
Myra Play isn't talking.
Yeah, and this person, Outlaw Lotus, just ended their stream. All right.
Let
The
this be
heck
a
with it.
lesson,
We got a
all you
request. We
people.
got a request to raid Endeavor, and I do like him, so let's just do it.
Let this be a lesson if any of you are interested in streaming. Just set up your stream to start right before we end,
Mm-hmm.
and you get
Yeah.
a few hundred STO viewers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always a good plan. You just got to be playing STO, and we'll find you.
And speak.
Yes,
Yeah.
and speak. You don't have to be on camera, but I want to know you're a real person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, what the heck?
Endeavor has a cool HUD. He's got like a cool LCARS thing going on.
Yeah, looks like a thing Thomas Maroney might have designed. All right, let's send him 400 viewers. Thanks everybody. This was super fun. I hope you all had fun, and we will talk to you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye now. Bye bye.